All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the daily recap. Today is August 4th, and I just want to cover the trades that we did today. We were able to catch two moves today on XPEV and once again on AMD. So, after yesterday analyzing what we did wrong, what we could do better, and all of the hesitations that I went through, I decided to try and correct those mistakes. And the first mistake I want to correct was our stop loss placement. I adjusted how I have my risk management in terms of my stop loss, and I adjusted the entries and all of that. But yeah, I think it paid off pretty well in terms of adjusting what we had to adjust to be able to try and put ourselves in a better position. And I think it paid off today very well on the 4th of August, Friday. Nice to go into the weekend on a good note and not on a bad note, having terrible psychology over the weekend. So I want to cover both trades, AMD and XPEV. First, let's go over XPEV. And right off the bat, out of the open, it holds below VWAP, and we notice that, and then it dumps. After this dump, I wanted to play what I failed to play yesterday, and that was wait for the pullback towards VWAP for us to enter. So we get the pullback, and obviously you can't fully tell, like, if it's gonna pull back all the way to VWAP, near VWAP. So it pulls back, and I get the pullback, and I enter my position short with a stop of uh, I had it on 50 cents, but for a stock like XPEV, I definitely just brought it down towards on top of VWAP because that's the play that I'm taking. And if I am wrong, then I'll get kicked out and I'll be wrong, and it is what it is. But this is the play we took, stop just above VWAP, and we held it through this consolidation, and we officially hit VWAP, and it rejected nicely off of VWAP, and we got this dump down. So we entered in full position here, and we were very patient, and we took out our first partial at the S5. I play these pivots as partial taking opportunities, not as support or resistance, just where I want to take my partials. So we're very patient on this play, and we took our first partial at the S5. Then we took our next partial down at the S6, and then we broke this black line, which is probably yesterday's close, or 2 days ago low. It would have been 2 days ago low. Sorry. And we just started slowly scaling out here. I did have to go to work at 10 a.m. We were right at 10 a.m. So I decided to close my full position at this level. The momentum started slowing down, and we were getting, well, we didn't get this pullback just yet, but I decided to close my whole position out of it for right there, and then it eventually pulled back all the way to VWAP, and where it held below nicely, and throughout the day, just kind of chopped around VWAP. Next up, AMD. So we did two trades on AMD, and the first trade being right off the open, our opening range breakout on the 1 minute chart. And since we had a nice stop loss of 50 cents, we were holding that stop loss nicely below VWAP. So we take a 1 minute opening range breakout, and then we partial out of our position at the R3, and then I added back in. Yes, I added back in right here in anticipation for the move up to the R4, and then it pulls back and it takes me out for break even. Nonetheless, I anticipated the breakout move continuing, so I did get back in. This was a misjudgment on my part, entering in up here instead of on the pullback. So I need to definitely still correct that and work on that. So we enter back in for the anticipated breakout. We get the pop, which was really nice, but it failed. And because it failed, that showed me that it had a very good sign of weakness. Okay. Nonetheless, it failed, came back down below VWAP. I had my stop here, and then I got kicked out for a loss, which is all good. And then after we got kicked out, I wanted to wait and see what the stock does, and I want to wait for that pullback to VWAP, that pullback that I failed to accomplish yesterday, and be patient on. So we get the pullback to VWAP, and that is exactly when I enter with a stop just above VWAP. More confirmation on this play that made me want to enter here was if you look at the 5 minute chart, after this nice pop up off the open, up to around 116.80s. The next candle, the pullback that engulfs to VWAP, completely engulfs. So this is a beautiful engulf reversal that I like playing and that I like seeing happen. It's a very strong sign of a reversal, especially off the open when it engulfs it like this. So engulfs it, completely loses it. So what do we want to do? We want to wait for that retest. We waited for the retest of VWAP, and that is when we got back in with a stop above, and we held. We held, and we were very patient in it. And then as you see, if I just kind of scroll my position on the screen here, we get back in, we hold, and I take out a partial at this yellow line, which is my pre-market range level. As we kind of were going to the short side, I wanted to play the pre-market levels just because we're entering back into that zone. So I didn't want to like hold it to the R1 or S1 or all of that. I just wanted to play these levels. So I get out at this yellow level, which is my personal level, and then we get a nice pop down, and I didn't take a partial at the R1. It pulls back and it's still holding below these EMAs, and I have a nice break even almost just about above VWAP, which is very nice. And then we get this next pop down, and because it was struggling in this area, I decided to take out another partial. We took out another partial and it breaks down, pulls back, and then we just start scaling out slowly. It gets to this yellow line here, which is also in my pre-market levels, and I decided to take out a nice position here. And after the pullback, I wanted to enter back in. I also had work, and I needed to close the position, or I would have had to let it run with a stop at break even, and just whatever happens happens. But I just wanted to be able to monitor my positions. I'm still starting out, so I want to be able to monitor them as I trade. So we get this pull up and then this dump back down, and it was failing here to continue back down to this level and break it. As you see on the 5-minute chart, look at this. It dumps down, but it gets bought up, and this to me is a sign of, or a potential sign that the stock is weak, but the buyers are in this area. And the next candle fails to make a new 5-minute low, so I decided to take out my full position at this level. And also I had work. If I didn't have work, I probably would have taken out a partial and held the rest to break even to see what happens next. But nonetheless, I take out my full position, and what happens next, because it fails to make a 5-minute low, it does a nice VWAP reversal back to VWAP. So usually off the open moves, after a nice opening range break up or break down, and you have this nice push out, the shorts here, anyone who's short selling will be covering their position, and people that start covering their position, institutions or traders or whoever's trading, mostly institutions, it could be a very good price to buy at because it's a cheap price. So what would they do? Institutions load up their shares, they buy their shares at cheap prices, and in anticipation for the move up to VWAP, and then usually at VWAP they would sell their positions because institutional traders use VWAP as a very key level to where they buy and sell and all that stuff. So yeah, this would have been a nice VWAP reversal that you can catch after a failed 5-minute low. So that was nice there. Later throughout the day, we see that it pops back above VWAP, and again, as you see here, it pops back above VWAP and it holds beautifully above VWAP. So this right here could be a nice opportunity to go long in anticipation for the move up to the high of day. And then obviously AMD ended up making a nice strong push, breaking out of that high of day here eventually, and up it goes, and it's still going towards the close. Look at that beautiful move. But very excellent day trades today. We're up 108.57 US, so after conversion and commissions, we're up 117 Canadian on the day. So that's very good after our devastating hit. Not really devastating hit yesterday, but our failed entries yesterday, and I'm glad I was able to correct them and not hesitate this time and just take the trades that I know that I should be taking that are within my playbook. And yeah, so nonetheless, a very great day going into the weekend. And if you guys have any questions, let me know below in the comments or send me a message. And I hope you guys have a great day. Peace and have a good one.